Alright, so this video we're going to graph linear equations. I'm already telling you at the beginning that they're going to be horizontal and vertical lines, so these are kind of special cases. These are going to graph a little bit differently. So, a horizontal and a vertical line will only have one variable in the equation. It's not going to have both the x and the y, so it'll have just the x or just the y. So whatever variable is in the equation, you want to solve for that. So our first example, 3x plus 6 equals 0. Normally we would solve for y to graph, but you'd say, oh, there is no y, so that means solve for x. So I will zoom in so it's a little easier to see. We subtract 6 from both sides. 3x equals negative 6. Divide both sides by 3, so x equals negative 2. This is an equation of a line. We have the variable by itself, x equals negative 2. Alright, so I think the easiest way to remember how to graph these, this is kind of the best way that's worked for everyone over the years. We have to remember that it's special. It's going to be horizontal or vertical. So if you guys can remember that, then you have a 50-50 shot of which one it should be. So first of all, where is x and negative 2? Well, that's going to be on the x-axis at negative 2. So we plot that point. We know that that point is on our line. You have two options. You can graph a horizontal line or you can graph a vertical line. Now, do you see how a horizontal line is going to cover up the x-axis? You do not ever want to graph that line. Unless it's equal to a 0, we're not going to graph this line. So that means if it can't be this one covering up the x-axis, it's got to be the other one that goes through the x-axis. It's going to look like that. So that is x equals negative 2. Now you could just have it memorized that every time it's x equals a number, it's a vertical line. But students seem to remember don't cover up the axis a little bit better. So whichever one works for you. Alright, next special case. We have 2y equals 9, and I can see that there's only one variable, so solve for the variable. We're going to solve for y by dividing by 2 on both sides. So y is equal to 9 halves. Now, I really like reduced fractions, but if a fraction does divide cleanly with a terminating decimal, which means it doesn't fill up your calculator screen to where you have to cut off some numbers and do some rounding, I don't want those, but this is an even 4.5. So y equals 4.5. So what we want to notice is that it's just the y without the x, so that makes it special. It's got to be horizontal or vertical. So the first thing we do is we go to our graph and we figure out where does y equal 4.5. It's going to be on the x-axis, it's going to be on the y-axis, and it's going to be between 4 and 5. That was positive, right? Yeah. So you go up on the y-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 4, here's 5, so it's just halfway in the middle. Okay, now you have to draw a vertical or a horizontal line. You've got a 50-50 chance of figuring it out. If you draw vertical, see how it covers the y-axis? Don't draw that one, okay? Draw the other one. So this is what a y equals graph looks like. Just y equals a number as a horizontal line like that.